In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to get your battle droids ready in super fast time, ready for the Star Wars Shatterpoint battlefield. The first thing you need to do is get your sprue of battle droids and resolve yourself to the fact you're going to spend longer building them than you will painting them. Next up, we need to clip those parts off the sprue and then give them a nice cleanup. And it's really important we get rid of the mold lines because the method we're using will really expose them if we leave them. Next up, we're going to glue them together. Now, I like to use Tamiya Extra Thin Glue. You can use whatever you want. Just take your time not to get it all over your fingers because this will mess up the plastic. And also, just take your time building. But they're very, very fiddly. When you've got big chunky fingers like I have, it's not ideal, okay? So just take your time a little bit. Now, I'm not going to mount these droids on the base straight away. I'm actually going to mount them on a cork, which is going to make it much easier for painting. So to do that, I need to put a pin in the bottom foot. So the first thing I do is take my wow stick and drill a little hole in the foot, being very careful not to go all the way through. I'm then going to super glue a paper clip inside and trim that off. I'm going to pop that into the cork, and that's going to be how I'm going to mount all 6 of these battle droids. On to painting. So the first thing I do is spray the models with Zandri dust, which is a very dark bone colour. Once that's dry, I then spray them with Wraithbone, or if you haven't got this, use Wraithbone from Games Workshop from above, and this is going to give me a nice zenithal prime. Now, as you can see on this battle droid here, it's very bright when you look at it, but when you tip it upside down, you can see that darker Zandri dust underneath. It's not any simpler than that. It's really easy, and this is going to give us a fantastic base to start. So the first thing we'll do to start painting these battle droids, remember we're doing all 6 at the same time, but we do want to do this stage individually. So get some skeleton horde contrast paint and paint it all over the battle droid. Now before it dries, this is really important, go back, clean your brush off, then dip this in some contrast medium and paint this all over the skeleton horde you've just put in there. So it's really important the skeleton horde is still wet at this point. And what you'll find is that this starts to thin it out really nicely and really give you a nice stained colour on the top surface that's a lot darker in the shadows. One thing you need to be very careful of is make sure that as this dries, it's really going to pool towards those feet. So just clear away any additional contrast paints so that you don't have ugly, clumpy contrast paint stuck on the feet. When that's completely dry, and very important here that it is absolutely completely dry, we're then just going to take a little bit of Wraithbone paint, which is a really, really light bone colour, and very lightly dry brush the droids. And we're going to start at the top and work our way down, so that we're not actually going to be dry brushing any of the recesses. And I can't emphasise enough, this is a really light dry brush. After that, it's time to put the red elements on, and the colour I'm going to use for this is Flesh Tearers Red Contrast Paint. So in terms of where I'm applying this, I'm applying it onto the back of the head, onto some of that circuitry. If you're not sure, check the box art. I'm also going to apply it across the top of the chest and the shoulders of the droids. Now, this is fairly straightforward and fairly easy. Just make sure you haven't got too much contrast paint on your brush. And what I've done is I've taken one droid and I've done this all the way through, and that's kind of given me my markings for how I'm going to do it on the other 5 droids. So I make sure that they all look uniform, because if you can imagine, these all come off a factory conveyor belt, they're all going to be pretty much the same apart from some of the damage they've got. Whilst we wait for the red to dry, I'm going to paint all of the weapons, and the colour I'm using for this is Black Templar Contrast Paint. Now, this is a really nice paint for this kind of task. As you put it on there, it'll start to dry. You don't need to highlight it. It'll just get into those recesses and leave you a really nice highlighted weapon. Going back to the red, it's time to weather it a little bit, and we're going to stipple it all over. And the colour we're going to use for this is Wazdakka Red, which is a very kind of desaturated orangey red. And what we're going to do is get a little bit on our brush, not too much, and we're just going to tap this along those sharp edges that are going to catch the most amount of wear. Again, it doesn't matter how much of this you put on, but always start off with a little bit. You can always add more later if you're not really happy with it. The last stage in highlighting the battle droids is really easy. All you need to do is just take a little bit of Wraithbone, make sure you've got a really good point on your brush. And similar to like we did in the last stage, we're just going to tap along those sharp edges of the battle droid that are going to catch the most wear and tear. And also, if you've been a little bit squiffy when it comes to some of the straight lines you've free-handed with the red, you can also paint over those bits here to show the impression of paint chipping and also even it up a little bit. A nice easy trick for you. And the last thing we need to do with the battle droids is attach them to the base. So this is very easy and straightforward. All I do is get my wow stick, I drill some holes in the appropriate places, and then I super glue my battle droids on. So I'm doing them one at a time. This means that I don't mess up the holes. So firstly, I'm going to put that kneeling droid because he's at the front of the base. I'm then going to put the back right droid, then the back left droid. So it's very easy and straightforward. Drill your hole. If you haven't got a wow stick, I will put a link in the description because it is fantastic. You can use a normal pin vise style drill with a small, very thin drill bit just to get it in there, but it is easier with a wow stick. So drill your hole, super glue, set your droids in place. Very easy, can't get any simpler. You've spent hardly any time painting these, but they look great for the tabletop. And there we have it, 6 battle droids done in absolutely next to no time. Now you need someone for these battle droids to shoot at, so why not check out this video of all my clone troopers. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.